Hello, can everyone hear me? Mic check. Perfect, yes. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Welcome to our Investing in Future Earth Intelligence Leaders GEO Youth Community Event and Mentorship Program launch. Welcome, everyone, and all those watching via live stream online. Good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you are in the world. Yeah, very, very pleased to be moderating this event. If you go into the next slide. Yes, so in terms of our agenda, I'm Marta Koch, and I'll be moderating today, doing the welcoming and the opening, and then I'm going to introduce the rest of the leadership team panel. They are unable to be here in person, unfortunately, but they have sent in some videos introducing themselves to you all, and then you can get in touch with them directly afterwards if you're interested. And then we have a panel of senior experts and youth leadership representatives attending. Yeah, please feel free to take a seat at the back. And then we're going to have a Q&A. This is the opportunity to ask questions to me and to the speakers and panelists, and then an interactive audience activity, and then I'll do the closing. So that's the agenda for today. If you could go to the next slide, please. Yep, hello, this is my introduction slide. I'm Marta Koch. I'm a PhD researcher and teaching facilitator at Imperial College London and an UNFCCC Tech Activity Groups member. And in terms of my role today specifically, I'm the GEO Youth COP Leadership Team Program Co-Lead. So very, very pleased to be here, and thank you to the Secretariat team and the youth contact points, especially Sabrina here supporting us with the tech, for giving us a platform and a community event slot during the symposium. Really, really grateful. Thank you. So next slide, please. So I'm going to be introducing our poster winners. We have two winners that we're very, very pleased to announce here today, and then the mentorship program. Today is the official launch of our mentorship program. Okay, please, next slide. Right, so in terms of our poster competition, so this is a bit about the origins of the competition. This is showcasing, the two winning entries are showcasing projects highlighting youth as emerging leaders in applying Earth observations to address global challenges and support the UN SDGs, the Paris Agreement, and the Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction. The winning poster, which is a combination of the winning entries, will be available to view via online exhibition at the GEO Youth website page immediately after the symposium on 27th May. So if you go to the link, those online, hopefully it's clickable, but yeah, please put the HTML into a browser, and those in person, please check it out. So it will be a permanent online exhibition poster with the winning entries. So, and there's a screenshot of the website page for you there. The next slide, please, Sabrina. Thank you. So congratulations to Nancy Nduku Waya and Gabriel Kuruwaseka, who are our winners. Huge congratulations to them. They are our panel of judges. Our youth leadership team selected their entries as winners for the poster. So Nancy's from Kenya, from Big Data Limited in Ghana, and her project was on Forest Trace AI, Earth Observation, and AI-powered forest traceability platform. Huge congratulations to Nancy. Gabriel's entry, Gabriel is from Spatial Softworks in Zimbabwe. His entry was on Field Eye Crop Monitoring, Farm Management and Risk Advisory. So huge congratulations to our winners there. Really, really great to see Afro-Geo Youth COP represented as well, the regional youth community of practice, and two winners from Africa. Really, really fantastic entries. Huge congratulations to them. And as I said, we have the poster will be displayed permanently on our website page. Next slide, please. So in terms of a little bit about the Youth COP, where it originated, so in 2025, we had the Youth Ideathon. This was funded by the European Union, the European Commission. In 2025, the Youth COP was officially launched at the GEO Global Forum in Rome, Italy, as part of the GEO Post 2025 work program. And then we had the leadership team elections and announcements. So you can see a screenshot of myself and my other colleagues and team members there. Then in 2026, earlier this year, we officially launched our GEO Youth blog series. I've contributed one blog, but you can see a rest of them screenshot on the slide there as well. So a lot of contributions that you can, they're short form, sort of editorial writing style. So you can spend a few minutes, hopefully, reading them on different aspects of Earth intelligence and youth projects and youth contributions to Earth intelligence globally. And then obviously today we're officially launching our global mentorship program and the mentor-mentee matching platform launch at the symposium. And we just announced our poster winners as well. So next slide, please. So this is the official launch of our mentorship program. So in terms of for young people that are watching and in the room today, so are you ready to make your voice count? Please, if you have not yet joined our youth community of practice to connect with global Earth observation professionals, leaders and experts shaping the future of Earth observation, you have the opportunity to receive guidance and mentorship, build your skills, gain experience, share your work, and become part of an international network of young Earth intelligence leaders. And this is growing constantly. We're getting new members joining every day from all continents. So that you'll then be invited to submit your information to join the new mentor-mentee matching platform that we're launching as well. So join now. Please get in touch either via our official email address there, or on the next slide we have a QR code. So if you go into the next slide, please. Yeah, so you can scan the QR code, those online. Hopefully it will also work for you. If not, email us via the previous email address or go to the GEO Youth COP page on the GEO website. Okay, next slide, please. In terms of mentors, Earth observation professionals, how can you contribute and join this mentee-mentorship mentor-mentee platform? Are you interested in inspiring the next generation of Earth observation leaders? Please join so you can share your expertise and work, support emerging change makers in the space, and help drive meaningful global impact. Partnership opportunities include partnering with thesis dissertation research projects for master's and PhD students, internship placements, volunteering opportunities for students at your organizations, and also idea funds and innovation challenges that you can host students and young professionals at. So please consider becoming a mentor and empowering young Earth observation leaders worldwide today by joining our platform. So please get in touch if you're interested or your organization is interested. Please direct colleagues to our website and encourage them to get in touch as well if you're interested in partnering with us on this. Okay, next slide, please. So our first speaker today is Samuel Amos. Samuel is a youth coordinator, the coordination lead at the GEO Secretariat, an associate officer here at the GEO Secretariat. So welcome, Sam. You have the floor.
Thank you, Marta, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining this session. It's I'm very glad to see as many people in this room. And yeah, so I'm just gonna speak to you a bit and put a bit of context around this youth engagement from the GEO Secretariat point of view, and also where we come from and why we are today launching this mentorship program and this youth community of practice first official event, I would like to say. Thank you, Marta, for organizing this session. It's the first session organized by the Youth Committee of Practice in a GEO Symposium or forum. And I would like to acknowledge also Florian, who is in the room, because I think everything started with when Florian was working at the Secretariat, because he did really organize the first youth track at that time during the global, the GEO week at that time in Ghana, and then in South Africa, maybe, or online. We had a virtual one also. And this was the first youth engagement that the GEO Secretariat tried to put in place. It was really organizing youth track, so giving the stage to young people, young representative of the scientific communities in the work program activities. And that was really the first engagement the Secretariat raised in terms of youth activities. And I think this shaped a bit the way to what we have today in place. So then later in 2024, basically, we had the GEO Symposium, and maybe some of you were in China in fall 2024, where we had this kind of youth networking breakfast. And that was really the first informal event where basically a lot of work program activities representatives and youth member of GEO were together, and I think that's a bit the magic of youth engagement. Also, we don't need to have very formal session or town hall meeting or like plenary session to put something in place. It comes at 7 a.m. in the morning, early in the day, before any other formal session, around the breakfast, and it was a very big brainstorming. Basically, everyone super happy to be there before any session. And from this kind of brainstorming, basically, which was more a social event than a really formal event, there is the idea and the proposition to submit an application to the work program activity, the new work program activity. And since then, basically, there is a team who has been working in making that the youth committee of practice, that was formerly something a bit more virtual, that was a bit on a very voluntary basis, become something a bit more official. And since this symposium, basically, you had our first milestone, and you just mentioned it, Marta, just before. It was in May 2025, last year in Rome, when the plenary, the GEO plenary, they accepted the new work program, which include the Youth Committee of Practice as an official work program activity. So I think this context is a bit the strengths. Basically, if you take the youth engagement in the GEO Secretariat, it has been always led by youth, and this is really the strength of this work program activity. And today we are very glad to have Marta as a lead of this committee of practice, and the other you will see a bit later. Also, we have a dedicated leadership team. There is also a representative from the AFRI-GEO Youth Committee of Practice in the room. So you will see that from there, basically, there is a lot of initiatives going and evolving, and that's really I think we are the Secretary. We are very happy to see how this continue to expand. So yeah, I wanted really to tell you that basically we don't really need to have a lot of official documents to make this happen, and that's where our strength is. We should continue to work like this. We still have some key document or framework document also, because of course you, and I see mostly young people in the room, but if there is also official delegates in the room, you may know that the formal plenary like to have a paper submitted for decision or for approval, sometimes to endorse something. So we have a youth declaration in Cape Town in South Africa 2023, and we have also an operating plan in the GEO Secretariat which guide us to make this youth engagement very effective, and at least to make us supporting the best we can the different initiatives. Thank you very much, Marta, and I will stay in the room afterward for some question if needed. Oh yeah, and yeah, I was looking for them actually. And we have some stickers also of the Youth Committee of Practice that I will put on the table there, that you can take with a QR code that direct you directly on the web page. So please feel free to take some and to share them with your colleagues. And there is also some flyers for the mentorship program that you can take also after this session. Thank you very much. Back to you, Marta.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you. Next slide, please. Right, so I'm going to introduce our first panel. So the rest of the leadership team, unfortunately, is unable to be here in person today, but they have submitted videos introducing themselves. So Arunima Sen, Amin Shakya, Chima Kachulu, and Fando Mate are now going to introduce themselves. So very well welcome to them. Okay, next slide, please. And if you could click the video. So Arunima, yeah, 1 second, sorry, just introduce her. Arunima Sen is the GEO Youth Corp Leadership Team Program Co-Lead and Copernicus Digital Earth Erasmus Mundus MSc student at the University of South Brittany. So yeah, welcome to Arunima virtually. Yeah, if you could click the video, please.
Hi, everyone. I'm sorry I can't be there in person, but I'm glad to be joining from afar. My name is Arunima, and I'm a program co-lead with the GEO Youth Community of Practice and also a master's student in Earth Observation and Geoinformatics. I'm from India originally, and my work is more or less in remote sensing, climate hazards, and modeling. And the theme of this symposium feels important to me, not just from a technical perspective, but also, you could say philosophically. The word intelligence is doing a lot of work in that title. So intelligence, it's not just, about satellites, about sensors, about data, or even better algorithms. I think it's more about the capacity to understand what's happening to our planet and how to act on that understanding in time. Those are two separate problems, and I don't think we talk enough about the distance between them. There's something that I keep noticing, and I don't think it's specific to one place. So you have the climate data, you have the methods, and yet the translation from observation to something useful for decision makers keeps breaking down somewhere in the middle. Thresholds that don't reflect local conditions, for example, risk frameworks that exist but never reach the people who need them. And that gap that I'm talking about, it's not always technical. Sometimes it can be structural. Sometimes it just becomes about who has access to the expertise. And that's where I think investment needs to go, not just towards the observation infrastructure, but also the mechanisms that help people use it. Skills transfer, open tools, education that reaches practitioners and communities, for example, in the Global South, who are often on the front lines of these risks, but furthest away from the knowledge. That's part of why I wanted to be part of the Youth Cup, because I think GEO is one of the few spaces positioned to do that. And I hope today's conversation goes there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Arunima. Our next speaker is Amin Shakir. He's the GEO Youth COP Leadership Team Events Lead and PhD researcher at the ITC Faculty of Geoinformation Science and Earth Observation at the University of Twente.
Namaste, everyone. My name is Amin, and I'm currently serving as the Events Lead for the GEO Youth Community of Practice. My primary affiliation, however, is as a PhD researcher at the ITC faculty in the University of Twente in the Netherlands. At ITC, we study a lot on how to use Earth observation data to implement real-world solutions. And this aligns quite a bit well with the goals and objectives of GEO as well. Specifically for my PhD, I'm trying to figure out how we can observe river flow using satellite data in regions such as the Horn of Africa. If we look at the Horn of Africa, there was an unprecedented drought between year 2020 and 2023, and then an unprecedented and devastating flood the very year after. So these problems of too little water or too much water, both can be very dangerous, and we need data to deal with it. These can be in terms of Earth observations or in situ data, which are very valuable, of course. I also use services such as the GeoGlows river model made with support of GEO, which are quite useful as well, modeling of river systems where we have limited data availability. But also, I believe an important pillar is engaging with the communities, be it for problems in Horn of Africa or Western Europe or wherever, engaging with the communities to figure out what their needs are. Perhaps even a step further, engaging with the community to co-develop solutions, etc. And these are the forays where I really see values of youth networks and international networks such as GEO. I'm delighted to serve the community in my current role, and I hope you guys have a great time in the symposium. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Amit. Our next panelist is Chumaka Chulu. She's the GEO Youth COP Leadership Team Comms Lead and Community and Ecosystem Engagement Assistant at UNDP. So welcome, Chumaka.
Hello, everybody. Bonjour à tous. My name is Chimka Chulu, and I'm the Communications Lead for the Group on Earth Observations Youth Community of Practice. When we look at the advancements in Earth observations today, a vital truth becomes clear. The most sophisticated spatial data and climate models are only as powerful as the people who know how to use them. This is why capacity development and skills transfer isn't just a supporting mechanism for the GEO work program. It is the absolute foundation of a resilient future. For a long time, capacity building was treated as a one-way street, a top-down transfer of technical knowledge. But really, to address these complex environmental challenges we face today, we need a new paradigm. We need a dynamic, two-way skills transfer that bridges generational gaps and respects local context. As young professionals and early career scientists, we are uniquely positioned in this ecosystem. Youth are highly adaptable, quick to embrace open source technologies, and deeply motivated by local impact. When we invest in equipping young people with advanced geospatial skills, we aren't just training individuals. We're really embedding long-term technical resilience directly into these communities that need and are impacted by it the most. Within the GEO Youth Community of Practice, we're actively turning this philosophy into action. True capacity development really means shifting from inclusion to empowerment. My call to action for the GEO community this week is to actively champion youth-led technical initiatives that lower the barriers to specialized education and really foster collaborative skills transfer. Thank you so much, and I hope you have an inspiring, action-oriented symposium.
Thank you so much, Shimoka. And our next slide, Our next speaker is Fando Mate. He is the GEO Youth COP Leadership Team Partnerships Lead and Space Security Graduate Professional at UNIDIR.
Good afternoon. My name is Thando Mate. I'm the GEO Youth Community of Practice Partnerships Lead, and I'm also a graduate professional at the United Nations Institute of Disarmament Research under the Space Security Program. Allow me to ride on the protocols that have already been observed. My background is in youth leadership, engagement, coordination, and outreach. I have professional experience in GIS, Earth observation, in development, as well as now in space security. I've engaged with the public sector, the private sector, and non-governmental sectors alike. As we all know, Earth observation from space provides the foundational data that drives decision-making in a range of sectors, from climate action, agriculture, to natural resource management, health, as well as security. The Group on Earth Observation has various working groups and communities of practice where youth are central to co-developing these global solutions to the shared challenges. These programs enable access to Earth intelligence for everyone, everywhere, through products such as the GEO Knowledge Hub, Digital Earth, and through partnerships such as with the Committee on Earth Observation Satellites. Now, as the number of objects that have been launched into orbit, including space debris and junk, heighten the risks and hazards and threats really to space systems, there is an imminent need for us to ensure a resilient Earth observation system across the entire value chain, in orbit and on Earth. The consequences of disruption to these systems can be detrimental to Earth intelligence for all. As technological advancements enable capabilities such as more intricate rendezvous and proximity operations, self-healing satellites, and on-orbit data processing enabled by artificial intelligence, the surface area of vulnerability equally increases in lockstep. Earth observation systems are increasingly intertwined with and operating in a progressively strategic domain for military and defense. Therefore, a possible scenario where dual use applications complicate targetability of Earth observation providers, these implications require the GEO community to become aware of the threats and consequences to space systems. These threats or risks, they occur at several touch points across the value chain, as I have already mentioned. I'm just going to list a few, but they're not limited to these. First of all is the threat to Earth observation data in all its states, whether it's at rest, in motion, or in use. It is vulnerable to electronic and cyber threats. This includes hijacked interference in orbit and the data that is existing in GEO infrastructure, like the GEO Knowledge Hub, which I have mentioned. Orbital infrastructure itself is at risk. For example, sensors can be dazzled or blinded by lasers or physical kinetic threats or non-physical kinetic threats. And then you have ground infrastructure, such as data centers and receiving stations. They are vulnerable to ground-to-ground physical attacks or space-to-ground threats, as well as cyber attacks. And then you have the more complicated doctrinal or policy implications that can lead to denial, disruption, or delay of critical Earth observation services. These can also complicate predictability and cause a cascade, really, of deterrence actions which may compromise the Earth observation value chain. The consequences of these threats and risks, they occur both on space and on Earth. This includes harmful contamination of the space environment, for example, if there is intentional generation of debris, and this compromises, obviously, the usability and the sustainability of space. It can also lead to loss of life on Earth because of disruption to critical Earth observation services, for example, in disaster management. It also compromises early warning systems, navigation, and mapping that rely on space infrastructure. To conclude, it remains important for us to center the EO value chain resilience in the GEO post-2025 strategy. There's an opportunity here, really, to harness the strength, innovation, and untapped disruptive potential of youth, as per the 2023 Cape Town Ministerial Declaration, which, of course, ushered the GEO Youth Declaration. By centering the role of youth in Earth intelligence for all through supporting dialogue, research, and enabling meaningful contribution to space security, it also means harnessing strength through cooperation and partnership that ensures redundancy in the Earth observation value chain. I believe youth have a critical role to play in this. And finally, I also believe that youth possess the foresight, the vision, and engagement, as well as the ability to exchange knowledge in space diplomacy processes that help us to integrate security objectives into the GEO implementation strategies. With that, I thank you, and I hope to engage with you.
Thanks so much, Fando. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. So next we have our panel of senior experts and youth leadership representatives. We've got Dr. Gregor Giuliani. He is senior lecturer at the University of Geneva and head of the Digital Earth Unit at Unigrid Geneva. Theophilus Wellington, youth coordinator at the World Meteorological Organization, and Rang Zhang, who is a scientific officer at the Cryosphere Monitoring, Predictions and Services Unit at the World Meteorological Organization. So welcome to our panelists. Please make your way up to the front. Okay. Okay, does everyone know how to turn their mics on? Perfect. Okay, right. So thank you so much, Gregory, Theo, and Ran, for agreeing to be on our panel today. So Theo, I'm going to ask you questions first, if that's okay. So Theo, how can intergenerational collaboration better support emerging Earth observation talent? I know you recently launched your WMO Youth Action Plan. Could you share how WMO has approached collaboration in practice through its youth engagement processes and implementation efforts?
Thank you so much. Before I begin to answer that question, I wanted to find out first, how many of you here are below 35? Hands up. Okay, so that means we have the right target audience for this conversation. Yes, WMO is a members-driven organization. So what that means is that everything that we do has to be approved by our members. We had, following Decision 14 EC 78, which is a very bureaucratic way of saying following our members approving us to carry out consultations for a youth action plan. That's how we began developing our youth action plan. Well, as a way of a background, WMO is split into three different units. So it's like we have the WMO bodies, we have the secretariat, and we also have our members, which consist of about 187 countries and then also 6 or 7 territories. This is huge, as you can imagine, and all their inputs have to kind of come in and draft this youth action plan. And something that was a slogan for us was for youth, but also with the youth and the young people involved. And so we carried out a series of consultations with the Secretariat, we carried it out with the WMO bodies, we carried it out as well with internally. We also did it externally as well during COP. Huli at the front over there was at COP, and she was carrying out different consultation processes with young people to find out what do they want from the WMO. And so by the end of this, we had almost 200 people who had contributed to the developing of the Youth Action Plan. And after that, we also did a series of consultations. The drafting process for our executive congress is, again, the members have to agree on this document. So it went through numerous changes. I have stories of sometimes at 10 p.m., 11 p.m., because different time zones, and we had a specific day to get it endorsed. So that is one way we've made sure that the Youth Action Plan is a consultative process, and the final document itself was driven by a lot of young people. I want to say a lot of the target audience, I think about 70% of the people that were consulting were youth. So it was actually young people drafting this plan. But we haven't just stopped there. We've also been consulting them even through the implementation. So we had a meeting in Japan to talk about how are we going to move this forward. And this was carried on by focal points. We call them the regional focal points. So regional focal points are people from we have RA1 to RA6. So what this means in simple terms is regional focal points from Africa, from Asia, from South America, and as you can imagine, the rest of the world. And so all of them came young people, all below, all in the age gap, because we define youth as 18 to 35, all came to look at this action plan and decide how are we going to get this forward? What are the challenges you face in each of your regions? What will be some of the bottlenecks? And I think this was very good. So with the members, we have a youth implementation plan and a roadmap that we agreed on. We've also been carrying out the same as well internally. We have secretariat focal points here in-house in Geneva. They are young people, and you hear from Ran, who is one of the youth focal points, with different expertise. We have from communications to cryosphere, she'll talk about it. So it's different types of young people as well. And we're also going to carry out, I was just having a meeting this morning. What is this now? We've now launched this youth network. What is it going to be? What are the discussions that young people want to be having in this spaces? Is not just for us in the Secretariat to think this is what we think they'll be interested in, is also to carry out the feedback. So we have a lot of regional meetings coming up in next month, all 6 regional meetings, and we'll be consulting all the focal points from each region so that it can be the network can be tailored to their needs. So we've, as much as possible, we've tried to move with this slogan of for youth and with youth, and so far so good. So I hope that summarizes a year's worth of work.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Fia. Lots to learn from and be inspired by for the recently launched GEO Youth COP based on your WMO work. Thank you so much. So my next question is also for Fia. What capacities do young Earth intelligence leaders need most beyond technical skills? And how can GEO support their development? How is WMO helping to foster broader skills and training relevant to your work through youth engagement and youth opportunities?
Thank you. Pillar 2, that's capacity development, is one of our biggest pillars. It's the heaviest one. And I think I will split it by going internally as well as externally. Because what, for example, staff and meteorologists need is completely different from young people externally. We are the authoritative voice of weather, climate, and water, for those who don't know. And each time I go to conferences and I speak to young people and I ask them like, oh, you care about climate change? They go, yes. Do you know about WMO? They go, what are you talking about? And they get their different informations from TikTok and Instagram in different ways. And so in terms of their capacity needs are completely different. And we've been trying to, as much as possible, focus more, at least for this year, with our WMO community that consists of the Secretariat and the members as well. And it's still not even these are also still two separate groups, right? Because when you speak about our members are made up of National Meteorological and Hydrological Services, aka the weather stations is what I call them, for simplistic terms. But they need more trainings with the regional training centers, and it goes to things like developing their meteorological skills, being paired more with, I think a lot of young people have been complaining that sometimes we feel left out of these training opportunities. It's more senior level experts that tend to go. So how do we include the younger colleagues there? Because that's how you retain them. And I think as well, they also care about leadership and communicating it. As we all know here, because most of you are below 35, being able to communicate what you do is becoming ever so increasingly important. You can do something very crucial, very important. If you can't communicate it in a attention span economy, then it's people, to show the value of what you do, you have to communicate it clearly. So they're also interested in things like science communication, leadership, pathways for themselves. So that's the members. When it comes to the secretariat, their skills are a bit more niche. So we have conversations on things like resource mobilization, project management, how to, for example, multilateral spaces and how to navigate these spaces. And so I think the advice I can kind of give is treating not all youth are monolithic. I think we know this. There's young people are men and women. They have different regional contexts, different local contexts. So because of that, we've been as much as possible trying to cater their needs to them. And so, try to cater what we give to them to their needs. So keeping in mind the intersectionality of it all. So I think that's how we've been going about capacity development. But I can say that this is something that young people are, they want to learn, they want to grow, and as much as possible, we're trying to curate what we do to ensure that we capture them as well. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your lots of different skills, interdisciplinary skills, interpersonal skills for young people thinking of going into Earth intelligence and Earth observation to think about opportunities for developing further. Thank you so much, Fio. Now, our next panelist is Ran. Welcome, Ran. Thank you so much for agreeing to be in the panel. So my first question is, what can institutions do to make Earth observation spaces more inclusive for young people from the global south, marginalized communities, and underrepresented regions and disciplines? And how do we move from isolated initiatives towards systemic youth integration within GEO? What has WMO been doing to support inclusivity in this space recently? And what lessons can we at GEO, with our newly launched mentorship program potentially, and our youth COP that's quite in its early days, learn from the WMO experience?
Thank you very much, Martha, for your question. I'm also very happy to be here to have these to speak on these kind of occasions. It's my first time speaking at a youth event. I probably would start with echoing Theo's question on the age, who's under 35. I'd like to share an experience of myself last year. So at WMO, we have technical commissions. The commission that I support is called Infrastructure Commission. So we had a management group meeting where the focal point in the commission, who's a focal point for youth initiative, was our second vice president. So he was also a senior expert. He was talking about the youth topic there at the table, and he's like, who here is under 35? I was like, me. So yeah, I think it's these kind of opportunities in your daily work that will really get you engaged in the actual work, in the operational work of an organization. So I really appreciate that. And speaking of inclusivity, I've been thinking about it myself, actually. I think the problem behind inclusivity that we are not engaging people from less developed areas of the world is actually that they are lacking the resources. So they're lacking the resources of education, getting good education, learn languages, opportunities to be engaged in international initiatives. So what we can do, I think, from Secretariat or from WMO as an organization is to leverage the resources that we have on trainings and workshops For example, I think WMO has ETR program, which is education training. So they have been, I don't have much detailed connection with them, but I know that they have targeted trainings on specific topics on infrastructure, on data sharing. For example, when I joined WMO 6 years ago, so I was lucky enough to be a junior professional officer. So I was supporting the WMO integrated global observing system. So we had some tools back then for members to use. And I was supporting the team to deliver trainings on that. And more recently, now I have been working in CrossFit team for the last 4 years. 2 years ago, we learned from one of our partners that they were launching a workshop in China for Central Asia countries on glaciers and relevant cryosphere observations and prediction skills. So we collaborate with them. We connected them with our experts on snow, on glaciers, on permafrost. We give lectures on best practices on conducting observations, which is lacking now in the community. Yeah, I think we should, as an organization, look for those opportunities to really increase the ability of them. So that I think that is really the hurdle behind it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ran. My next question for you is, what role can youth play in making Earth intelligence more locally relevant and community-driven? At WMO, what approaches have been most effective in enabling young people and young professionals to contribute meaningfully to community engagement and localization?
Yes, I think actually probably my ideas would apply also for more general how to engage youth, but specifically for localized services or community-driven initiatives. So WMO has we conduct activities at global level and the regional level and at national level. So I think these would apply for the regional and national activities. WMO coordinate best practices, standards, formats to ensure that data are shared in real time in standardized format that all the NMHs, the national Met offices can use. But when we talk about the services, it always goes to essentially to national or regional level. For example, we are in the CrossFit team, we are supporting a third pole regional climate center, which looks at Central Asia, the Tibetan Plateau area. They deliver meteorological services, they deliver monitoring and predictions, not only for meteorology, for precipitation or temperature, they also look at snow, specifically for cryosphere. When we were supporting this group, when we were formalizing, when we were developing the products, I noticed that we actually engaged a lot of young people there, because when you have a sort of a high-level initiative, you have senior experts sitting on the table. But when they have some work to do, they would invite their people to join, right, to form a technical group. So I think these are excellent opportunities for young people to bring in their knowledge at the national level. It also turned out to be very practical in our case. Also for cryosphere, usually it's in remote areas, so the local knowledge is actually very important. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. Lots to unpack there, and lots of insights for young professionals and young people in the room and online to think about. Thank you so much. So my next questions are for Gregory. Welcome, Gregory. How can integrating youth perspectives strengthen the relevance of Earth observation science and governance to community needs and real-world decision-making? From your perspective, both in academia and the practitioner, how can academic institutions better prepare and empower students to contribute to these processes as early as possible?
Thank you, Marta, and good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for inviting an old guy, because I'm a senior, as you can see on the screen. But say that that's a great opportunity also to explain a bit what we're doing also at the University of Geneva. And as you see, I'm sharing my time also with the United Nations for more than 20 years now here in Geneva. And especially here, we are in a perfect, I would say, in the perfect setting, because we are investing in the youth, on the youth side, because we are training the next generation of researchers in every topic related to Earth observation or, let's say, the environmental field. But then we have this huge network of a UN-based institution here in Geneva, and we are trying at the university to connect all these students to get with this vibrant ecosystem. And to that, for example, we have within the university an initiative called the Geneva Science Policy Interface, the GSPI, and this is exactly the aim of that department, is to connect the researchers from the university or from different universities in Switzerland with the Geneva ecosystem. And I think that's something really important at the end, to connect with the relevant institution and reading the dots. So networking is obviously a key issue, as you said before. And I think communication is also really, really key. And from the researcher side, I would say, or the institutional side, we have a big mandate, I would say, as a training institution. We have to build the necessary knowledge. And when we talk about Earth intelligence in French, it's not being stupid. So we have to use data, all the wealth of data that we are generating out of the satellite, in situ monitoring systems or whatever. We have to use them really wisely, and we need to teach them to use it wisely so that we can really sound decisions based on this EO data. And I think it's becoming more and more of a challenge, obviously, with the rise of AI. That's one thing. But when you see also every day, basically in the newspaper, when we read all these stupid old guys that are doing around the world, I think we need to move forward and really trust the young generation so that we can move towards a more, let's say, sustainable world.
Yeah, thank you so much, Gregory, and thank you for bringing up the Geneva Science Policy Interface. I had the pleasure of participating in their summer school last year on the Environmental Action Programme. So any young people interested in opportunities like that, please do have a look and at their work and the work of the Geneva Environment Network, which your UNEP grid is part of as well. So thank you so much, Gregory. My next question for you is, what are the biggest obstacles young professionals face when trying to transition from Earth observation learning into professional work and leadership? How can academic institutions and employers better support students and early career professionals in navigating that transition period?
I think one of the biggest challenge probably it's the lack of network, basically. So they have to be known and present their work. So that's one thing. I guess it's extremely important to tackle. And the other aspect, I would say, more on the senior side, it's the trust that we need to have also in the young generation, because from time to time we have the tendency to be a little bit scared about the young generation. So they are at the beginning of their career, so they have to do their own experience before really working and entering the let's say more senior level. So that's really a key issue. And I would say that, for example, at the university, we have also, and I see some of our former students here in the room, we have the certificate of geomatics. And this is a certificate where the students, basically, they start getting the necessary knowledge in geomatics and Earth observation. And then we oblige them to go out of the university for an internship so that they can be exposed, let's say, to the real world and have this first opportunity to work in the field. And I guess that's also a model that could be expanded somehow also more broadly, because I think we need to help also the young generation to rise, to build that network. And I see many of our students participating to today's sessions. So I think that's extremely important to help them. And as a senior and an old guy, I that's my mandate, basically. And I've told all my PhD students that I'm here to support them to raise their profile and to be part of, for example, the GEO family, and to build their capacities and to connect with all the relevant and nice researchers and practitioners that we have in the room and within the building.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And that's the end of our panel. Now, thank you to Gregory, Dr. Gregory Grani, Phyllis Wellington, and Ran Zhang. Now is the opportunity, if you go into the next slide, Sabrina, thank you. Please, no, please could you stay that we're going to have a Q&A. Sorry, Q&A bit next. Yeah, that's great. So you're still up on the screen so people know to connect the voice to the face. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to start with our Q&A session, but before that we have a special intervention, a special request, and we're very honored for Mohammed Omar from the Afro-Geo Youth Community of Practice and the Regional Center for Mapping of Resources for Development in Kenya to give a special intervention from the floor about Afro-Geo Youth COP and activities and projects. So, Mohammed, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mata. My name is Mohammed Omar. I am a GIS technical assistant at the Regional Center for Mapping of Resources for Development based in Nairobi, Kenya. My role here is I also serve as the Afro-Geo Youth Leadership as a co-lead together with Sinisifo Ngamile from South African Space Agency. So we launched in line with the post-2025 strategy. We launched the Afro-Geo Youth Community of Practice last year in Dakar, Senegal, around October. And since then, we have been working on setting up the structure and also doing activities that support the youth, building capacity of the youth across the continent, especially young scientists who are in the GIS, climate, Earth observation sector. So we have also been able to conduct 2 webinars, which have garnered a lot of interest from the youth in Africa. We have onboarded close to 80 members in our community of practice so far, and we are also working on. We have a new youth project. We are working on launching a new youth project called GEO Shapers in partnership with ESRI, which is around urban heat. Resilience tools and solutions that can be done by youth in their respective cities in Africa. It's still in the we have not still launched it, but it's a work in progress, and we at RCMRD we have this strategy of where we take interns, young graduates from the universities, and give them attachments and interns, and it's usually 6 months long. So at the end of those 6 months, if they have gained the skills required, they are usually given a short-term contract to continue their work, and also they are uptaken in the projects that we do. So in terms of and I was part of the interns in late 2023, and I was able to come as a staff in the organization. So, and there are others who are there before me, as RCMRD is the host of the Afro-Geo Secretariat. We wanted to create a youth community of practice that can encourage other organizations in the which are under the umbrella of Afro-Geo to take up the same approach, to give opportunities to youth, to give them internship. If they're giving them internships and attachments, can they take them as staff if they have the right skills, if they have the right qualifications, and so on. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Mohammed. Thank you. And please do check out the website and Mohammed's profile as well, and information online for if you want to find out more about the Afro-Geo Youth Community Practices work. Thank you so much. Okay, so next slide, please, Brina. So we have the Q&A with our panelists. So Sam, would you like to also join in case somebody has any questions for you? Okay, thank you, because there is a full seat there. So does anyone have any questions for our panelists or Samuel? Or me even. Okay.
I have a question for the floor. Basically, we have seen something, and I think the presentation made by Theo about WMO youth engagement and how you have built this youth engagement through a youth team also at WMO, and then bringing it to the highest level at the WMO council and get the approval. And Gregory, you mentioned also the Geneva Science Policy interface and how this connection between the different worlds is basically a requirement now to be efficient. I think based on these two interventions, my question to you and to people who are in the floor, because you're coming from different organizations, or maybe you are coming from the scientific organizations, maybe you are coming from more from a policy side. And I would like to know what's the most efficient way for you to have the youth engagement efficient, basically, because we have seen different models. We have seen a model where we were often speaking about youth representation. So it was easy to give a seat, and this is a seat for youth there, and they come and they have a slot to speak 5 minutes, and basically we tick the box, and we are inclusive because there is a seat for youth. And then I think something has been mentioned here, and something we have tried to do at GEO also is to not to talk anymore about this youth representation, but youth engagement, and to have the youth seat, not just a seat, but not just a mic, but also a place, a say in the text, in the documents, in the strategy. And I think you mentioned it really well in WMO that the strategy, the youth strategy has been built by the youth team at WMO, right? In the GeoSecurity, I think Tando mentioned it also. In 2023, there is the youth declaration in South Africa that has been built by a youth team also. So now, from your experience in the room, do you have any advice, or not advice, but any knowledge to share basically on, in your point of view, what is your best or the most efficient way to achieve youth engagement in a very concrete way, basically, and just not give a seat to youth? This I would like to hear from the floor.
Any contributions? If not, maybe you, go ahead. You can share it in the next part because we're going to poll you. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, please introduce yourself and where you're from.
Hello, everyone. My name is Grecia. I work with Theo, the youth team. This is a very important question to us. I think the best approach is to see youth as not like just engagement in a way. It's just like see as an equal partner and see as someone that also already contributes. It's not just preparing for the future. It's like bringing into spaces that they already can bring their insights, their ideas, and co-create with more senior experts and lead the way as well. So I think that's also the approach that has been shifted with the Youth Action Plan at WMO, and now it's also incorporated with our youth network. So I think that's one way, but I would also like to hear in the from anyone else in this space.
Please go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
It should light up. Yeah.
Good evening. My name is Silikun Hutasevi from Jista, Thailand. We are a space agency. I think the contribution of the youth, I want to give the example in Thailand because we are some kind of developing country, right? So normally the student or the youth, they are not interested much in the GEO team. most of the maybe smarter one, they're gonna be doctor or whatever. It's like some kind of the social ranking or whatever. So when the youth become the geoinformatics or geography, it's gonna be quite I don't want to say something like stupid or whatever, but it's just like it need a lot of time to shape them into some kind of ready to use people in the communities. So it's like nowadays I accept the new people into my team. So somehow it still have a lot of things that we need to teach them how to implement or how or sometimes it's been the problem like to think or make it like not just in the subject that they learn. It might different between like the master student and bachelor student. The master student is quite okay because of their past some research work, so they can contribute or like join the team smoothly. But if I get the people from bachelor degree, it will take like at least 5 years to like try to catch up the technologies or try to even recap the principles of knowledge. I don't know, like maybe in your country is not have this kind of problem, but in my country is have a lot of problem in the system and how the university adjust to the communities. Now sometimes they cut off of the principal knowledge of the remote sensing and they jump into like how to use the software, ready to use software, how to become the technician. And they have very less knowledge on how we utilize the remote sensing or how GIS or how to like create the very accurate data, something like that. So it shifts a lot in this day because of the education in Thailand. They want to serve the business. So like, so this is what I want to share in what I experienced in Thailand.
Thank you so much. Really interesting. So need to change the curriculum or collaborate to fill those gaps in the curriculum. That's really interesting. Thank you so much. Yeah. Next question. Oh, next answer. Sorry.
Okay, it's working. Thanks a lot for that intervention. I think that's a good way to have a bounce on it, especially on the older generation of, I would say, the senior one. To answer your question, I think it's kind of hard from the youth community to have the same level or the same vision as the senior one, because we kind of usually lack this level of expertise. As a youth community, we just start to get into the field. We don't have that much experience as the senior generation. So I would raise another question to you maybe. How do you deal with that kind of lack of experience expectation from the senior level? I think this is part of the reason that maybe the youth community is like putting aside or not equally contributing or like seeing as a important role or person to a part to the youth community. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those contributions. Yes, do you have a...
Actually, I wanted to answer your question, also to your question. So my personal experience last year that I mentioned at this management group meeting is full of senior people. So what I think would really work, it would be on two sides maybe. So first is to really talk to the management for them, convince them to give us the floor. Don't know how. Let's try to do that. To let them trust us with the capability. I know you trust us. Thank you. On the other hand is as young people ourselves, as you said, we don't have access to those experience, right? We don't work there for so many years. My personal experience in the last few months is a bit tricky and I guess special because I had some challenges at work, really big challenges. But I also got big opportunities. So what I think is that as young people, I would encourage everyone to be brave, to show yourself, that's one thing. You need to be proactive everywhere. Say that you want this, you want that, you can do this, you can do that. On the other hand, you need to really make a lot of efforts. You need to sacrifice your leisure time. You need to read the documents. For example, my work, you need to read tons of documents, WMO publications, working documents, scientific knowledge. On permafrost, I'm a meteorologist by training. I didn't study cryosphere back in the past. So I had to learn how glaciers are monitored, are observed. You need to really spend a lot of time getting, now we use GPT, right? We can do a session, 1 hour session with it every day after a month. You are kind of an expert. So I think we also need to try to be proactive and to be confident to tell them that we can do this, so that they can trust us. I guess there's always like senior people be like, yes, we want to engage those people, but do we really trust you with your ideas? We know you're passionate, we know, but yeah, so I think we also need to work a lot to improve ourselves and be brave to seize all the opportunities as much as you can. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Yeah, sorry, we need to move on to the next activity, but hopefully you will be able to contribute in written form to it. It's also to gather some information from all the attendees today, and hopefully those watching the live stream online as well. So please submit it via the poll that's going to come up now. Thank you. Sabrina, could you bring up? Okay, so the first question is, where are you joining us from? Please could you scan the Menti QR code via your mobile device, or if you're on a browser, you can, on a laptop, please open up the menti.com with the numbers that are provided there, 5780-0718. Those online watching the live stream, hopefully you can also contribute as well, and the QR code will work for you as well. So we can get responses from both groups. Thank you so much. Okay, Sabrina, could you open up the browser so we see the live results? So we can all see, yeah, perfect. Okay, so, oh, brilliant. We've got some respondents, yeah. 4, yep, 18, 19. Yeah, the thing about this is that we can see how many of you have got it open live. So how many of you haven't yet filled it in? So come on, 23 people, only 7 submitted, please. So, oh, brilliant. So we've got 3 continents represented already. 4, fantastic. 24. Yeah, we've got a big blob with 9 in the middle. The bigger the blob, the more people. So hopefully a little bit more variety. That's fantastic. 4th continent, 5th. Yeah, brilliant. 27 of you, people online as well, liking it. Thank you. Right, very, very interesting. So very international in terms of attendance online and in person. Thank you. 28 people have got it open but have not yet submitted. I'll give you a few more seconds. Yeah, a few more seconds. Right, let's go into the next one, Sabrina. Thank you so much. Oh, we've got you're watching the live stream to see. Great. Okay, so our next question is, and hopefully Florian, is that your name? You can submit it via this. That would be brilliant. What is one action we as the GEO Youth team should take now to strengthen youth participation in GEO's work? So suggestions. So suggestions, please submit them. They will come up as a word cloud. So if you have commonalities with other suggestions and submissions, the bigger the word, the bigger the blob. It's a proportionate thing. Brilliant new and fresh ideas. You can submit a word or a statement or an entire sentence or a paragraph if you like. Yeah. Please, I'll give you a minute or so to do this. So we need some ideas, we need some inspiration from your vast experience, I'm sure, in the room and those watching online as well. Please do give us some ideas. So what is one action we as the team should take now to strengthen youth participation? So the priority now, the first thing we should focus on. And WMO representatives, please share your wisdom with us so we can be inspired by what you've done successfully with the WMO youth work. Fantastic. Youth at the core of GEO. I'm going to start reading a few of these out loud. Funding, advertise, motivation, trust youth, training opportunities, brilliant. Coordinated mentorship, and not just mentorship, but coordinated mentorship, brilliant. Mentorship seems to be coming up a lot. That's great. Clarity on how to engage, fantastic. Intergenerational exchange. Okay, thank you. School workshops. So, targeting even younger, sort of younger than university generation. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. The earlier, the better. Right, next slide, please. Thank you, Sabrina. Thank you so much for all those who have submitted. Okay, so please rank the most important qualities of a future Earth intelligence leader. What should GEO focus on supporting young people in developing? And you should be able to submit multiple responses to this. So we've got the obvious technical skills, and one of the questions that our panel responded to was on this, but also other things, as Theo brought up: collaboration, innovation, communication, systems thinking. I think you covered pretty much all of them in your response. Thank you, Theo. Yeah, systems thinking, technical skills. Thank you so much. Fantastic. Innovation. Yeah, collaboration. Ooh, we've got a battle between the top two at the moment to keep swapping round. Communication is number one. Any more responses? 33 are watching currently live but have not responded. Fantastic. Systems thinking, interesting. Okay. Okay, there may be others that we have not covered, but you may be able to submit in the next slide. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Okay, let's move on to the next one. What is the biggest challenge global youth face engaging with the Earth observation community? What do you think is the biggest challenge? What should we focus on targeting and hopefully resolving or contributing to resolving in some way? And this is globally as well. Please submit your responses. So one word or statement or phrase. You can get a couple of generation gap. Interesting. Thank you. Opportunity. Yep. Senior expertise. Okay. Thank you. So engaging with senior experts, definitely. Any more ideas on the biggest challenges we need to focus on overcoming or dealing with? Oh, brilliant. Lots of new responses. Data access, localized geo context. Okay. Yeah. The local context. So community level, local level, concrete platforms to disseminate. Is that right? Yeah. Trust, networking. Oh, brilliant. Lots of responses there. Thank you so much. Democracy, data access, data. Very good. Access to resources, access to data, access to tools. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Next one, please. Okay. This will be, I think, the question before last. So, what should GEO invest in first to empower global youth interested in Earth observation? You should be able to move them to rank them. Okay. So we also got the other, if you think there should be something else we should cover and focus on. But where should GEO invest first to empower global youth interested in Earth observation? This is the financial aspect. Investment is also can be in terms of time and resources, but this is financial as well. Perfect. Thank you so much. Financial is number one. Training and skills building number two. Youth representation and decision making, that was brought up by a panel as well. Access to tools and data, mentorship and guidance, and more experienced professionals. Fantastic. Trades and skills building is definitely number one. Thank you so much, Sabrina. Any more? Final chance. 34 people that are live on the platform now. Please submit your responses. Final chance. 3, 2, 1. That's it. Okay. Next one. Slide. Okay, this is the final question. And then I'm going to close the session. Okay. By 2030, the SDG deadline, and also deadline for a lot of other policy-related things, nationally and internationally, what outcomes would represent successful youth engagement for the GEO youth team? What do you think we should have done by 2030? Okay, the next 4 years. What would you see successful for us to have done in terms of youth engagement? What do you think we really need to focus on the next 4 years? This is also going to come up as a word, cloud. Okay. Do we have 34 alive thinking? Just submit the first thing that comes to mind. That would be great. Oh, brilliant. Strengthened and empowered next generation, equal consideration, accessibility and understanding of GEO by the youth. Brilliant. Youth processes. Yep. Work programs. Youth is not a separate team, but mainstream at the core of GEO work. Okay, very interesting. Inclusion. Oh, brilliant. Long response there. Social media presence targeting young audiences. Brilliant. Lots of responses there. Thank you so much, 34 people that are live and 9 that have responded. Okay, we've got a bit of a delay, I think, with it coming up live, but they are appearing slowly but surely. better representation at decision-making level. Thank you so much. Fantastic. Lots of ideas there. Thank you. Brilliant. Thank you. And the QR code will be open for the next few days if you want to submit anything in the next few days during day 2 of the symposium and the plenary, of course. Thank you very much, those online and in person, for submitting. Next slide, please. If you could, yeah, go back. Fantastic. Okay, this is my closing. Thank you so much for attending. Thank you to our speakers and panelists, fantastic panel here, and also the responses from the audience, and the GEO Secretariat Youth and Work Programme teams for your ongoing support to the youth community of practice and the leadership team. Thank you to those who attended online in person, and thank you WMO for supporting this event as well and hosting us. Fantastic. Thank you so much. That's my closing as Marta Koch, moderator. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I would like to invite everyone also to continue this conversation outside. We will be there. The GeoSec Youth team, the youth leadership team is outside also. So feel free tomorrow, today, to reach out to us also to engage with our team. Thank you.